Hard Copy. Did this young couple fake their suicide to stay out of prison?
You can run, but you can't hide.
On a bridge, their car abandoned, their bodies nowhere to be found.
I wish somebody could just find those people.
Was it suicide or scam? For Saturday, January 29th, 1994, this is Hard Copy.
Good evening, I'm Barry Nolan.
And I'm Terry Murphy. Welcome to our Saturday edition of Hard Copy. Adam Emery was on his way to prison, but he never made it behind bars. Instead, he and his wife disappeared. Was it a case of double suicide or was it a scam? Doug Bruckner reports.
Terry, it's a manhunt for a killer who may not even be alive. For days, Rhode Island police believed the convicted murderer and his wife had taken their own lives. But now police suspect they're dealing with a mock suicide used as a cover-up in a clever getaway. For the victim's family, it's made the pain even more difficult to bear.
I still can't believe that he's gone because he was only 20 years old. He never did anything to anybody. He's just a good, normal kid.
Jason Bass died 3 years ago, but police still aren't sure what happened to his murderer. Is the killer lying at the bottom of Narragansett Bay, or is he free, laughing in the face of justice, a fugitive from the law? The victim's brother is convinced the killer is still alive.
No matter where they are, they're gonna find him. You can run, but you can't hide.
It was a hot Rhode Island summer night in 1990 at the Rocky Point Amusement Park. Adam Emery and his wife Elena were eating clam cakes and chowder at an outdoor stand when suddenly their car was sideswiped by another vehicle.
They backed up their car, gave chase. The vehicle got ahead of them. Obviously, there was a certain amount of time lost in there starting the car and backing up.
Young Jason Bass had just picked up a friend at the park and was driving away at the same time.
Mrs. Emery said, "That's them," and they pursued the Bass car.
At a residential intersection, Adam pulled over in front of Jason, blocking him in. Jason's brother Ray will never forget or forgive what Adam did next.
Got out of his car and he was swearing at my brother, cursing him. You hit my car, I'm gonna effing kill you. You hit my car, I'm gonna kill you. My brother put the car in reverse. He jumped into the window, tried to get the keys, so he says, from my brother. While the car was going in reverse, Adam Emery reached into his back pocket, took out a double-edged knife, stabbed my brother in the arm, and stabbed him in the heart.
Oh my God, I'm bleeding. That's the last words he said.
The killer was arrested at the scene. He claimed it was self-defense, and in what seemed to be the ultimate tragedy, it turned out that it wasn't Jason's car that hit Adam's car that terrible night. And there would be an even stranger twist to come.
On the charge that
3 years later, on his 31st birthday, Adam Emery faced the jury for the verdict on his count of second-degree murder.
He had never acknowledged responsibility for his actions. In his testimony, he had never said to the Bass family, "We're sorry your son died."
How do you find the defendant?
Guilty. Guilty.
Some were shocked by the verdict, but the real surprise was yet to come. Adam's wife Elena was devastated, so was his family. The judge allowed Adam Emery to go home and spend his last days with his family before being sentenced. But instead of going directly home, Adam and his wife went to a sporting goods store. They bought 80 pounds of leg and wrist weights. 3 hours after Adam's guilty verdict had been declared, police discovered his car on the Pale Bridge. The parking lights were on, the keys in the ignition, his credit cards and checks were in the car, neatly cut into pieces. Adam and Elena were nowhere to be seen. For 6 days, divers searched the bay. Hannibal the Hound, an expert in sniffing out human remains, worked the coastlines. Sonar experts were brought in, gathering metallic readings on the weights the Emerys may have strapped to their bodies.
We have had no positive indications at all that there's anything out there
that we're concerned about this time.
If the Emerys had committed suicide, their bodies were nowhere to be found. Police began to have their doubts. They called in a lip reader to examine videotape of Adam's trial.
Go back again.
What she found was startling. After the verdict, Adam comforts Elena, and she whispers what the lip reader says is, "We will do what we originally said. You promised me. We should have done this before." 3 hours later, Adam and Elena vanish. The police investigated further into the Emerys' actions after the verdict.
The purchase of weights, and it can be viewed as these people were determined that they were going to kill themselves, or they're determined to throw any investigation off to make it appear that it's a suicide.
The police received a report that the Emerys had been sighted just after the verdict eating at a Burger King. If they had planned on committing suicide, would that have been their last meal? If Adam Emery had planned on killing himself, would he reportedly have haggled with the salesman over the $205 price tag for the weights? In the eyes of the law, Adam's still alive.
He's a fugitive from justice on a case of murder.
And for the family of Jason Bass, the nightmare will not end.
It hurts. It hurts. I wish somebody could just find those people.
They'll find them. They'll find them. Sooner or later, they'll find them.
Despite the fact that Adam and Elena's photos have been broadcast all over New England, there are no solid leads to their whereabouts. Are they really dead? Police don't think so, and they'd like your help. Terry?
Thanks, Doug. Fascinating story.